Training camp is going on, but the big news item, this guy right here, Brandon Ayuk, where is he going? Is he going anywhere? I don't think he is. We're going to talk about it here. Of course, I'm already in a draft room, Best Ball Mania 5. Today, I'm picking in the one hole, so perhaps I can reciprocally benefit here and take Christian McCaffrey, another 49er who's going to get more target share, I guess, if if Ayuk were to get traded. Don't think it's going to happen, though, but let's go Christian McCaffrey here. 101 snap fill for me. Had a weird time on the YouTube. I apologize for that. Basically been running behind all morning here with getting probably content out. Also getting my training camp updates done, catching up on everything. So I'm scrambling right now. We're in the one hole, though. We're going to do sick draft. We're also going to talk about training camp news as we do here every day. So Brandon Ayuk trade rumors afoot. Beat reporters saying he's more likely to get dealt than a new deal. The Commanders and Steelers have reportedly dropped out. So no Jaden Daniels reunion, it seems like right now. No lookalike Mike Tomlin reunion either. I guess it wouldn't really be a reunion, but they look the same way. Maybe came from the same egg somewhere along the line. Either way, though, those not look like they're going to happen. Browns and Patriots, though, in the mix if they trade first rounders and a top wide receiver. And this is the weirdest part about these reports. So number one, never happens. You don't see a wide receiver traded for another wide receiver that often. Number two would be the top receivers they want, respectively, from the Browns and the Patriots would be top receiver, Amari Cooper. Okay, fair enough. A vet, a line's kind of the same age as some of the other guys they have on the Niners team. Or Kendrick Bourne, a guy coming off an ACL tear. What? Like, that doesn't make any sense whatsoever. I assume it means the Patriots would have to give like different capital. Maybe Patriots would have to give up 2 first rounders. Perhaps 3 would be the ask. I would think more likely 2 and something in like the 100 to 125 pick mix, kind of close to the A.J. Brown deal, but a little bit more. But that's supposedly the trades that they want that are not being agreed to by the teams. The teams also have to pay Ayuk big money, supposedly $30 million a year. The Niners' willingness to move him, according to another, I think it was Mike Garofalo from NFL Network, their willingness to move him is because Debo is, quote unquote, in great shape with a competitor's mindset. He is being the adult, seemingly a shot at Brandon Ayuk there for demanding a trade. Even though Debo himself, when he got his new contract, it was through demanding a trade. An adult move then, I guess, but not an adult move now. So weird things around the Ayuk situation. I still think this is all them trying to get him to come to the table with something more reasonable than wanting the 30 mil. The initial reports that they wanted to pay him 24 mil. My thought was that they would meet in the middle at 27. I guess that's not an option either because of the Niners side or Brandon Ayuk side. I think ultimately, though, they still have to come to the table. Like, it's a lot to give up for this guy at this point. And giving him up for the Patriots, sure, they would do that, I would think, depending how much draft capital they have to give up, because, like, very likely they could be drafting in the top 10 again next year, even if they have Brandon Ayuk. For the Browns, I don't know. Like, they're already in win now mode. I feel like you would want to add Ayuk on top of Amari Cooper, on top of Jerry Jeudy, who's been hurt all of camp. I don't get it. This doesn't make sense to me from a football level. So my bullshit meter is going off and saying, like, they're just going to agree to a deal. They're going to figure it out. But that's sort of how I feel about it. Been a while since I've had a good squirter guy. Hoosier Devo, glad to see him. And yes, no draft stalker here. I'm not going to pull up the chat because we don't glorify it. 100's BBM right now. Watching Spags. There we go. Glad to see that. I'm in BBM number 90 for me. So still another 60 to go here. Probably not all of which will be on stream, but we'll see, I guess, what develops down the home stretch here. Other news items, Leaked Neighbors lit up the Lions at a crossover practice. Tried not to have too many like camp items like that. Guy looks good in practice. Doesn't really matter for one day. But Neighbors, I think, had a pretty dry run of items where he didn't look great in camp, had a couple big plays. Him beating up on a team like the Lions, who should be better on defense this year, is a legit team. Kind of matters a little bit more. And it was a news day, too, where I think all the depth chart shit is a little bit overhyped. We'll talk about that a little bit more coming up. But Neighbors making a good practice show against the Lions. Good enough to make the news items for me today. Jordan Addison court date is now 10-7, rumored to be in line for a 3-game suspension. Because of the timing of that, it's possible it could end up being pushed to 2025 if he fights the suspension. I don't know how to read that. I think he's going to probably take another dip for now there being a confirmed court date. It was on Roto World, so even the normies in these drafts will start to adjust to it a little bit. If he comes down more, I think you buy the dip. You just have to have him as your wide receiver 5, wide receiver 6. He has to be a pure luxury, I think, but he's a pretty good luxury to have in Minnesota offense, where again, he's going to have all that production pre-TJ Hawkinson. When he gets suspended this year, if he does, it's going to be a period where Hawkinson's getting up to speed, and probably is going to be a good situation for him anyway. Comes back in. He's leveraged then again Justin Jefferson for week 17. I think Addison to me by the dip, but we will see. Giants O-line playing QB play will hurt Neighbors. I guess. Talent is talent, and frankly, the Giants have started to look resurgent in the last few practices. What does it matter? I don't know, but teams can get better, and Brian Dable himself is calling the plays. That matters too. We will see. All right, we got CMC first. We got Brandon Ayuk coming right back home, I guess. The Devon Achane start with CMC, also kind of fun in this room as well, where it could be weird. We'll go Brandon Ayuk, though, here for one of the picks. Think if he goes back to the Niners, happy to get this combo a little bit cheaper than it's been at certain points. Second pick here. Got to be another receiver. I like Devontae Smith. Rave reviews at camp. Really, Achane is still fun, but it's hard for me to make that click with CMC already. But boy, for week 16, CMC and Achane, that really could be something. Fuck it. Why not? You know what? Play the GIF. Play the GIF. I would like to get Neighbors. I've got enough of these guys. I got 13% Devontae, 13% DK, 16% Neighbors. Look, starting with just Brandon Ayuk when he's in the midst of the biggest trade rumors he's ever been in. Not the best one. I am an RB piggy for sure. Here we go. This is me. I can't help it. Oh, CMC, Devon Achane. But in reality, why not? I got to get this combo at least once or twice in BBM, right? So today is the day. 0-2-1-0 build. We got CMC, Devon Achane, and Brandon Ayuk. So two little fallers here. Certainly guys that have fallen to the 1-2 turn or the 2-3 turn often enough. So I don't think we're getting crazy unique. A little bit unique. We'll see what we do with it. See how we stick the landing incredibly poorly. Hot start. Oh boy, please. And Tyler saying, slam the like, become a member, and let us welcome you to the Squirt Squad. Yes, please go to that VIP Discord here. Join the party. Get the rest of the news out of the way. Some more training camp depth chart stuff. Again, depth charts came out for a lot of teams yesterday. Few didn't put them out yet. I think the Broncos were one. I didn't see an official one. We got Zach Moss, RB1 ahead of Chase Brown in the first Cincinnati depth chart. Zach Taylor in the same time frame gives a quote about Brown's consistency being his best trait. We've known that Chase Brown's worked primarily with the RB1s in camp. Might be because they wanted to see more of him. Still think the bet at worst is the bet I thought it was in the 120s and I guess maybe 130s for Chase Brown a little bit. Reason guy is going to have some role there. His opportunity to earn more role is going to be him playing well during the season. And he's probably going to give up some goal line work to Zach Moss. So nothing changes about the equation, really. I think for people who were steaming Chase Brown up to the 90s, maybe they stopped doing that. But Chase Brown priced around that Pollard Spears range, I think still feels good to me. If he comes down again, goes closer to Marshawn Lloyd and pays a really big tax for this, great. I would scoop him there too. Like he's still the exact same bet. People will overreact to the early depth chart stuff. Trey Benson, though, good signal for him being ahead. Trey Benson being ahead of Amari DiMercato as RB2. Good news for him. DiMercato, a guy that was in the system last year, showed pretty well for it, was trusted to fill in for Connor when he went out. Benson being ahead of him means he's got the contingent value, it looks like. Obviously, DiMercato can outperform him. Benson can come back down. But when you see it early for the rookie, when they're on the depth chart, it's viewed as a good sign. If they're not on the depth chart, it's not a death knell. But that's really the main thing to look at. Jerry Jeudy back doing individual drills, getting closer to a return, supposedly. He was in a camp hype piece on The Athletic about the Browns, talking about how he's a key part of what they want to do, as signaled by them extending him the second they traded for him. But that said, he hasn't been out there, and Deshaun has been, hit or miss so far. Looking a little better in camp, supposedly, but I think still kind of hit or miss compared to how he was in previous iterations of himself. So Jeudy being out there, an important part. Hopefully he gets back within, I'd say if you're drafting him, hopefully he's back within like a week. Kendre Miller still hurt, but ahead of Jordan Mims, behind Jamal Williams on the Saints depth chart. Jamal Williams also in the mix for kick returns for the Saints, it looks like, which makes no sense, but people are going to do weird things with kick returns this year, so that could be one of them, but that's the depth chart right now. Kendre still RB3, but Jordan Mims has had a pretty good camp behind him, so with how we've had the negative coach speak about Kendre, we'll see if he holds on to that job. Michael Mayer and Brock Bowers both listed as starters for Vegas, which was initially what I had said to kind of cope with some of the Michael Mayer bags I had in the big board. There were initial reports, and my thought was that they're going to play these guys as 12 personnel, try to have them be both blockers and pass catchers. That's been every signal from camp so far. Now we get the depth chart saying that they're both starters alongside Jacoby Brissett, alongside Devontae Adams, who's been not in camp, waiting for his wife to give birth. So he's missed multiple days of camp. Where Jacoby Brissett is, Jacoby Myers, not Jacoby Brissett. I'm always thinking about Patriots QBs. Jacoby Myers, though, wide receiver 1, while Adams has been out. Still, though, Mayer and Bowers being out there with a lot of Adams, with a lot of Myers, that could be a good thing too. So I think really easy targets for them to win. And Adams' motivation, man, it kind of feels like Adams should be coming down in drafts. He's not, but he's a guy where not happy in camp already with the bad QB play. Now not in camp as he's giving birth personally to a child. It's not great signal for Davante Adams so far. And last one here in the news items before we make another pick. Ken Dorsey wants the Browns to play with more pace. Nothing too shocking about that one. Josh Allen at 46, fairly shocking. Unfortunately, we're not the one getting that value. More pace for the Browns. Browns actually gotten the most offensive plays in the league last year. So seeing even more pace there would be a good thing. Though obviously how good that pace is with Deshaun Watson as a QB, we'll find out. Let's see what this guy does on the clock. Raiders going to win 13-10 every week. It's possible. All right. Christian Kirk here. Very cozy click for me to make up at receiver. Actually, we have 2 very cozy clicks here. We also have another RB value. Do we go Travis Etienne? Just fucking close the loop here. Let's keep ourselves live for fun combos. I think Kirk making it up. Great. McLaurin making it up. Great. Obviously, we're live for Purdy. Would have been nice if we had gotten, I guess, Amari Cooper. I don't even know if we want him back at this point. Amari Cooper back might have been nice there. Obviously, he doesn't fall to 48, 49 that often these days, but maybe with the trade stuff, there's a possibility. Either way, we have Christian McCaffrey, Devon Achane as the RBs, so trying not to hit RB in a little bit, even though Travis Etienne falling again in rooms. I presume because of the Tank Bigsby steam becoming positive. This is now the second time within a week I've seen Etienne go in the 50s. Actually, second time within, I think, like 4 days. Where I've seen ATN go in the 50s. So I would watch out for that fall. And if you like ATN, which I would like him a lot more in the 50s than I did in the 30s and 40s, ATN in the 50s, I think, is becoming a thing. Anyway, we're live for Jaden, live for Purdy. Maybe both of them at the same turn. Who knows? Who knows? Why would the Niners sign Breida to a contract to make their RB room more confusing? I don't know. Actually, I really have no idea why they would do it. Camp depth, somebody's banged up maybe. I don't know. I haven't heard about any injuries there. But it does seem, I guess, Garendo's been hurt, so maybe that's it. They just want him in there taking some snaps or some contingent value for Garendo, who was going to be out initially for a few weeks with the hamstring. Maybe the hamstring's looking worse, so that could be, I mean, look, you should be taking Garendo anyway right now, but I think that could be a bad Garendo sign if I had to guess. This guy gets the Andrews-Lamar combo at 41 and 56, which is a little bit unique for the spot. It's the exact same move that people pull over here, so you're not really getting value on it. But the combo here of with Bijan, with Evans, with Pittman, maybe that makes it slightly more unique, I would guess. I don't know. Would have been more fun if he had like Tank or something over here. Maybe Nico Tank. That would be actually unique, I think. Said this is kind of fake unique. Kyler goes at 60. I got Puka and Marvin Harrison, and much like me yesterday where I got it, I would not reach for Kyler. That guy reached for Kyler to lock it up. I don't think that's the move either, unfortunately. 5 spot is fun. Yeah, it's not bad. Some micro discounts coming together there. It's what you want to see. Again, the best way to get unique at this point in drafts is to soak up the value you're getting at ADP. So this guy here got Nico at the slight discount. He did reach for Amon-Ra, but, Amon-Ra basically right there anyway. Got Devontae at the slight discount, Pickett at the slight discount, Etienne at the slight discount. So making himself more unique there by racking up just 2 to 4 picks of ADP value on each pick in the first 4 rounds or 5 rounds. That's one way to do it. It's the ideal way to do it, not reaching for guys. Puka Marv, I mean, I've said it from day one. I felt like Puka and Marv was the CeeDee Lamb Amon-Ra last year. If you didn't play best ball last year, those guys went at the 1-2 turn together. They also played in week 17. Obviously ended up both going off in week 17, being a part of the winning lineup for Fareed Shaheed. That was the chalk one there. Just because it's chalk doesn't mean don't take it. I think it's still a very good pick at that spot. And, how you handle it besides that, I think the way you handle it is probably not getting too reachy. I think you want to have stuff fall back to you. There are rooms where Kyler will go all the way back around to you at 84. Not a lot of rooms, but there are rooms, especially if you cornered the market by taking Trey McBride. You're running the risk there, though, of not getting him, I guess. But Joe Burrow at 63. I hope that was a timeout. I mean, look, you take T. Higgins, you get that slight discount on Higgins. You got to ruin it completely by reaching 20 picks for Joe Burrow. These are the rooms we like, though. Sim God. Maybe he's running what the worst fucking Sims in the world, if I had to guess. Feel like you got a nice discount on Achane and Ayuk. Normies running at shows. Again, not an uncommon discount, I don't think. That one's definitely occurred enough times. But yeah, it's a little bit of a discount. Kirk's coming down. I don't really think he should, but he is. We got a little bit of a discount potentially on Worthy here, which would feel okay. Could also build out the Jacksonville bet. Oh, this is tough. We could really build out Jacksonville with Brian Thomas and Evan Ingram. Just go Jacksonville triple. Though that would limit our QB options a little bit more. Worthy here at a discount doesn't feel bad either as wide receiver 4. Either way, I think Ingram is going to be one of these picks. I would like to get tight end done, so I'm going to get tight end done no matter what. I like JMO in a build like this too, but it's hard to take JMO 20 pick ADP flip. I think it's worthy. I think it's worthy. Oof. This is tough. This is a good value. It's a 9 pick value on Worthy. That's a little bit tough. Yeah, Thomas obviously makes more sense for the team. If we wanted to go the triple, wanted to go Trevor Lawrence. Jameson Williams, I do think should be valued in the mid-70s. But Worthy, to me, is a guy who should be coming up. Like, he's had a good camp. He's getting targeted on deep balls every day in camp. The volume hasn't been there as much. Like I talked about it earlier in the week. 7 targets in their last target count that beat reporter did. 7 targets for Kelsey, 6 for Rashee Rice, 6 for Marquise Brown, 3 for Worthy. That's how I think the target share is going to go. But he's getting deep balls in an offense that people think is good. So I don't think he should be falling right now. Give the team a read, though. It's a 0-2-4-1. We got Christian McCaffrey, Devon Achane as the RBs. Wide receiver, Brandon Ayuk, Christian Kirk, Terry McLaurin, Xavier Worthy, tight end, Evan Ingram. So obviously, this is a team where Trevor Lawrence would make sense. It'd also be a team that Brock Purdy could make sense. It also would be a team that Jaden Daniels would make sense. So we have options. We can push QB. Obviously, in this room with some less badges, always a concern. You get sniped on QB a bit more. We're feeling okay. Anyway, you're seeing me build a sick team here, guys. So if you enjoy this draft here, I'm doing drafts right now, every day on this channel, Monday to Sunday, literally every day at 11 a.m. So please subscribe down below, hit the like button, leave a comment. Your engagements go a long way for me as a content creator, a solo proprietor here, just doing it by myself here every day, showing you my gambling, trying to talk about the news, talk about everything that's relevant, and some game theory along the way. So please hit the like button and subscribe. And of course, deposit Underdog. Use promo code SPLASH on there to get a $250 in bonus cash. The best bonus cash deal you'll find in the biz. If you are new or an Underdog, a great way to get some more drafts in. If we have any people out there who are only watching this because you play redraft, draft an Underdog. Gamble instead. Don't just do ESPN.com mock drafts. Go gamble. Go draft against the most difficult rooms in the world, and you'll be ready for Darlene at the office. Probably going to load up on RBs. Probably to go CMC and Achane like I did. Chiefs wide receivers without Mahomes are the way to go this year. I still think so. The Mahomes price tag has never worked for me. Receivers one-off, I think looks a lot better. Even a double stack without Mahomes, I think looks better. Just try to beat him. What in the fuck? Soft room. Glorious Awoo. There we go. Yeah. A little value hounding going on here on stream. Sam Darnold named a Vikes starter. Skull. I mean, he's not named the starter. He's just number 1 on the depth chart right now. This is the one thing I really don't enjoy about the depth charts coming out is like they're very fluid right now. This is just the first one. Coaches will even tell you that don't treat these like gospel. So we've known that Darnold's playing ahead. We know McCarthy has to play from behind. He might not start week 1 no matter what, but like he's looking good in camp. He's getting good work. That's all you're looking for really at this point. But don't overreact to like the depth chart stuff. That's why I tried to I could have written up a bunch of different depth chart ones today, and it's like they're just not as meaningful as people want to make them out to be. They're meaningful when it's good signal, like for a guy you like, I guess, but less so when it's like a competition that's actively ongoing. We see David Njoku going into 87, so this guy's just reaching for everything. You got value Keon Coleman, but reach for Watson, reach for Burrow, reach for Njoku. People reaching for Dak, reaching for Love. This room is really just got to get their guys. Hashtag get your guys. The room ethos here, apparently. You can see some of my exposures for guys in this range. Of course, the week 17, week 16 matchups. Bestballoverlay.com is how I pull that off. Go check it out. Bestballoverlay.com. Promo code SPLASH on there gets you $10 off. Means you're getting a month basically for $20. At this point, if you sign up for a month, you're getting it the rest of best ball season. So a good deal at bestballoverlay.com as well. If you want to have access to tools in your life, more data as well. Seeing my playoff stacks and week 17 stacks on the Best Ball Overlay data side on their website has been great as well. All right, let's see what we get with this pick. Some things in the spot would be nice and logical. Have to also think about, is it time to lock down QB, given this room panicking a little bit at QB, showing themselves to be a little reachy with these two. All right, Mostert goes. I think Hopkins makes sense for this build. Wasn't the kind of thing you could get before in rooms. Now we can get it. We obviously have the Jacksonville bet, so we just need to be good for week 17 as wide receiver 5. I can live with that. DeAndre Hopkins is going to be one of the picks. ADP-wise, we do have some time before Brock and Trevor Lawrence, so I feel like this would be a spot to go Jaden Daniels. I'm heavy on Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels QB1 on the Commanders depth chart, so we can victory lap that. Also, pretty big values on Zamir White and DeAndre Swift. If I just want to totally eschew QB and let the chips fall where they may, this is scary. I can load up my RB room even more. Oh, man. Oh, man. All right. Man, I was going to move the RBs up. We go Jaden Daniels. Can't not go Jaden Daniels. It's a 1-2-5-1 here. We got Jaden, McCaffrey, Achane. Again, I'm doing something different here, as Pat Crane said on stream a couple weeks ago, and it's been one of the things that stuck with me amidst the hours and hours of content that exists every day in best ball. If you're doing deviations against stuff you normally do, you don't want to change everything. So I got CMC and Achane. I want to take teams that are not far off from my normal teams. And Terry McLaurin, Christian Kirk, DeAndre Hopkins, some Jacksonville correlation with Ingram. These are not far off my usual teams. So that's how I'm going to justify in my head. And obviously Jaden on top. I want Jaden in every possible build. So yes, I do want Jaden in a CMC Achane build. That's how we're going to justify it here. That's tough though. If both Purdy and Lawrence come back to me at 120, 121, I'm going to regret that a little bit because I could have made the RB room pop even further. But instead, we went the way we did. Took our cozy blankie of Jaden Daniels. Chunk's birthday. Hey, happy birthday, Chunk. Happy birthday, Chunk, indeed. One of our regulars. Been on stream before. Back before I gave up on the probably giveaways because reviews weren't coming in. Please. 10 spot also reach for Cooper. Going to reach for Deshaun Watson. Already see it coming. Perhaps. Browns might get Ayuk. I really don't think so. We had the big storm of signal. I mean, we'll see. You got to give up a lot of capital. I think a team more like the Browns makes a ton more sense to the Patriots, who would basically be trading away their future to have him for a few years where they're not good anyway, to play them into worse picks. Patriots would be a really bad decision, I think. But hey, you know what? Dumb money still happens. This is a tough way to say that. Happy day of ruining your mom's vajayjay, Chunk. Yeah, sure. You don't know. He could have had a small head. They snap back, They're not really ruined, usually. Finally up from 0% Jaden to 1% with that auto pick. Sure. Finally getting a taste of Jaden Daniels. Now, he's my highest exposed guy. If you are new to the stream, Jaden Daniels, the Commanders writ large, one of my favorite bets of the year. Think they are underpriced for what they are. Hopefully, we will see them show out against the Jets. Though, not the ideal debut game, I would say. If you want to go with just a great schematic team, Jets defense is that. Obviously, you don't expect Sauce Gardner to be out there, so that's probably going to help a little bit. Chase Brown back to 105, so maybe a little bit of a dip for him after he is RB2 on the Cincinnati depth chart. Really just wouldn't sweat that stuff now. I will say that time and time again. Yes, Andrew, we talked about this at the beginning of the video. They have the framework in place, but they still have to agree to a deal and want to meet his price tag. That doesn't mean there's a trade. Gotta learn to parse out news. I can't be the one to repeat the same things over and over again. It could still happen, but it doesn't mean it's done. Assuming things are done, it's different verbiage. but we will see. If he does go to Cleveland, great for this team, I guess, because we'll have the correlation with Miami for week 17. I win either way. We'll see. Oh, are you coming with inside reporting it? He's like you reported this out yourself. You read an article. I also read a bunch of articles. We're okay. We're doing our work here. I too have a framework to win BBM 5. Gonna be a great deal. Purdy doesn't come back, so we are now at risk of losing both QBs. You're all good, dude. You're all good. It's just, I think when people you gotta learn how to read the news items in a way that benefits what you're trying to do. And right now, I think Twitter really gets fucking overexcited about everything. So that's certainly the metric through which I view everything. They get so overexcited about any possible trade or whatever. And it's like, oh man, this is for sure going to happen. And it was the same thing before. He's been traded to the Steelers 10 times over. And we've now found out the Steelers are out of contention for him. I think we're probably going to end up with the same thing for Cleveland and New England. That's how I feel about it. Of course I'm going to do in-season content. I'll do the same haul I did last year. Might change it up a little bit. Haven't really thought it through all the way yet, but showdown content for sure every week for DraftKings. Main slate stuff as well. Probably will do some version of my rankings video again. Because last year, honestly, I ended up being really accurate with a lot of the rankings, just using my data point that I combined some metrics together to draw from. So I think I would like to do that again, but we'll see. Honestly, just depends how it probably goes the next few weeks. If we raise money, it'll give me more flexibility to figure out around that. And if we don't raise money, I'm going to have to fucking scramble. So that's the name of the game right now for me. Fun times. Pelissero ripped that tweet apart in NFL Network yesterday. Fun watch. So there you go. There you go. Yeah, a lot of, I don't know. A lot of fake news. I don't want to, again, steal the other people's quotes, but a lot of things out there that people are trying to get engagement on that's not quite news, I think is really not helping the disinformation portion this time of year. It's a little overbroad of a way to say it, but people really fucking read Twitter and panic react to everything. Caleb Williams goes, so we do get Trevor Lawrence back, it looks like. So we're going to lock that up no matter what. Trevor Lawrence, come on down. And with the bets we have here, it's a 2-2-5-1. I think a good third RB. Well, I like this guy more than market. Still think he should be going safely ahead of Nick Chubb. We got the bet on Miami. We'll go oppo correlation with Jerome Ford. Jerome Ford, RB3. So team so far is a 2-3-5-1. We are done at QB. We have Jaden Daniels, Trevor Lawrence, Christian McCaffrey, Devon Achane, and Jerome Ford is our RB room right now. Probably add one more on there. Maybe two, depending how the board shakes out. Brandon Ayuk, Christian Kirk, Terry McLaurin, Xavier Worthy, DeAndre Hopkins, and Evan Ingram as our tight end 1. So feeling good about the team so far. Like the core of what it has with McCaffrey and Achane. Think we made up at receiver well enough. Obviously going to have to account for Hopkins missing some time early potentially, but even that's not the most likely. So happy with what we're doing. Shab Ben saying big win coming your way this year, Spags. I feel it. I hope so. I hope so. The hope is that, you do the work for a year straight on camera and you get a lot of things right that hopefully it'll pay off. I did have I wouldn't say a vision, but I had a thought process the other day. I was kind of thinking about, how I've played things this year. And also thinking about too, the amount of stuff that I've been lucky to get right so far. I wouldn't say lucky. The amount of things that I've gotten right through a lot of work and taking stands early and digging in on them. And even things that aren't working out perfectly right now. Troy Franklin is the best one to point to. I guess Senate would be another one. Those ones are still very live, and there's enough positive things to talk myself into. But with getting, Chase Brown right at times, getting Bucky Irving right at times, Marshawn Lloyd right at times, hopefully getting the commander stuff early in the big board. I've had a lot of things correct this year so far. And my big fear is that I get it all correct and I have good structure and whatever, and I still fucking lose because of the fact that it's best ball and I'm only playing in the biggest tournament this year. I'm playing in BBM, playing in the Drafters Million, a little bit in DraftKings Millie Maker. That's it. So my concern is that I do everything right and I still get fucking dusted. Because that can entirely happen in best ball just because of how things align. Things can crush you the first 14 weeks. Then your stuff hits week 15, 16, and 17. You have enough little turtles that can get to the shore amidst your lineups. That's a possibility. So there's always a run bad, even when you have, some advantage going into stuff. So that's where my brain goes. That's the neurotic, Northeastern, I feel part of me. growing up in New York. I feel like if you grow up in the Northeast, there's like just a weird, like, I can't imagine the positive part working out. It might not be everybody, but I feel like that's like to me, a classic trait of New York, Boston, Philadelphia, all of them. Playoff pods are so crazy too. That's another part of it. It's such a big luck component. That's why, I do talk about drafters a lot. Of course, promo code splash on drafters, but not having that luck component on drafters, not having the pods that could sink you, not having your own pods be filled with players that might have sniped you in a draft is such a big thing that like can really fuck up your teams, even if you did a lot of stuff right. So I would say drafters.com, play on there, promo code splash. Great way to support the show as well. Appreciated by me. And of course, doubling your deposit to $100. And if you put in 10 entries as well into Drafters Million, which is $15, $500K to first place. Again, no pods, no playoff pods, 17 weeks of total scoring, full point PPR. You are getting, a lot of free entries there. So 10 free entries, you get a free one. 25, you get another free one. You put in 100, you're getting 7 free. Good stuff on Drafters. So really my big recommendation there, because I think that one's got, if I were making a bet, minus 150 odds of overlay, maybe minus 200. If we don't want to be nice. Let's see. In Jersey can confirm. Yeah, you always fear the worst. Fear the worst. Cortland Sutton feels right for the team. What? No. We're okay. We're okay without Cortland Sutton. Why would Cortland Sutton feel right for this team? And also, he went later than usual. He went 102 here. He's been going in like the 80s in some rooms I've been in when people are panicking at receiver. I think normies like Cortland Sutton quite a bit. A lot of people miss the boat in best ball. Too many people drafting for season-long production and not weekly ceiling. That's true. That's true. You just got to have guys make your lineup. Dotson didn't come back, which would have felt pretty good for this team, but obviously we'll survive, as we always do. Come on, S. Caputo. Oh, always the worst when the guy before you takes all the clock. All right, Ty Chandler. Perfectly acceptable pick by him. We will go Darnell Mooney here. Oppo correlation. I do not get enough Darnell Mooney in my Jaden stacks. So that's been a blind spot that I did observe with the best ball overlay tool, and I want to correct. And I think Rico Dowdle as a 10-pick value, he's had good enough camp steam. Nobody else I need to go up and get, unless I was going to go get Algier over him. But honestly, McCarthy gave Rico a good quote this week. So we'll go Mooney for one, Rico for the other. We're at a 2-4-6-1 build. We got Jaden Daniels and Trevor Lawrence as our QBs, both nice price tags. Again, in that 100 to 120 range. Christian McCaffrey, Devon Achane, Jerome Ford, Rico Dowdle. I prefer the Zeke bet. I think Zeke is a lock to get high value touches, some of the third down work. But Rico, to me, he's the opposite side of that. One of them is probably going to hit. Royce Freeman also got hurt yesterday, so makes it easier for Dowdle to get there. Dowdle, again, the quote a couple weeks ago, competing with Malik Davis competing with him for the young guy role. I don't think that matters that much. Like, Dowdle's got enough coach speak from McCarthy, which matters a lot more. To me, Dowdle, if you don't get Zeke, I wouldn't hate doing it in a large portion of your drafts. Wide receiver, it's a little bit of a value on Brandon Ayuk. Christian Kirk, little value there for no particular reason. McLaurin right at ADP. Worthy, a little bit of a fall for him. Don't know why. Hopkins, of course, has the fall right now because of his knee issues. Got him at 96. Darnell Mooney here right at cost, and Evan Ingram a little bit ahead of cost. So I like this team. I mean, I'm happy with the room. Think we made up pretty well at receiver, given that we have this McCaffrey Achane start. RB room still perfectly credible. Might want to add one more on there because we're talking about partial roles is expected for Ford and Dowdle. But I'm okay with this one. Sick team. The worst is a slow tick down to an auto of the guy you want. Yes, I've said that before in stream, and I still agree. That is probably the worst. Groin for Royce Freeman. Well, there you go. Groin, soft tissue injury. Not great. Maybe good news for Malik Davis. Maybe they add somebody else off the trash heap. That could be somebody to worry about. Don't think they would panic and like this would be the time they trade for the people that, people out there want Dallas to trade for. Don't think they panic and trade for, Khalil Herbert or Javonte Williams or anything like that. I think they would, if they were to add somebody, it'd probably be like a, third on the depth chart kind of guy. So that we're talking maybe live to add like a Fournette type, which would be hilarious. Zeke Fournette in the backfield because Royce Freeman hurt his groin. 10 spot in tiers. No Deshaun for him. Unfortunately, he didn't reach for him. The one guy he didn't reach for, right? Yeah, it's really, you reach for Amari You reach for David Njoku. At that point, you probably just reach for, I guess he's trying to maybe do week 17 with Tua. But no, without any correlation. He's just an idiot. I think it's one of those things you do in drafts where like you try to interpret what a player's trying to do and you go like, he's setting up this, and you think of it through the lens of like you as somebody who's doing your work here, you're watching streams, you're probably reading ETR, Mike Leone articles, reading the Best Ball Manifesto, and you're like, what kind of brilliant thing is this guy doing? And it's like, he's just taking random guys and doesn't know what he's doing. And that's ultimately the net outcome. Guy Who Hames in here. Shout out Who Hames. Appreciate all you guys watching. Real Kareem Huntland. I mean, if he's not already a Cleveland Brown, I don't know where. But he would be another guy that would fit the filling in for Royce Freeman kind of spot. Bucky Irving up to 157. We love to see that. That's been his correct price tag for 5 months. Is how I feel about it. But he's back up there. RB2 for the Bucks. Bucky Irving having a great camp, which is what we thought. Audric Estime also having a great camp, which is what we thought. I realize Audric Estime too. It's completely unrelated to anything. Audric Estime not 21 yet, which to be that large and that powerful and only be 20, another reason to gravitate to him, I would say. If it were me, Shout out new Adam here, the new and improved Adam. Appreciate you being here. Eliminator filled. Yeah, Eliminator and weekly winners doing better this year, huh? But yeah, go get those entries in. I'm sure, I got to think they would launch an Eliminator too. Probably a smaller one. People like that tournament this year, though. You get excited about Rachaad White, you probably also get excited about mayonnaise sandwiches. Rachaad White is, I don't know, he's a mayonnaise sandwich. What would he be? He's got a little more substance than that, because he would have to be like a volume sandwich. It would be like a loaded like deli sandwich, but you're using like, I don't know, the fucking one that comes in like fake Tupperware, or even worse, like a plastic bag. It's like you're having a big old Dagwood style sandwich, the enormous one from the old comic strip. I think it was Blondie, was that one? Like just a big stack sandwich, but the shittiest cold cuts. I think that's Rachaad White. And then maybe the cold cuts also follow the sandwich. Bucky Irving picks up some cold cuts from time to time. We got a 2-4-6-1 here. Correlation-wise, nothing leaping out. Noah Fant would be the ADP pick. We do need a tight end too. Even if I take Ben Sinnott, I would prefer it with a tight end too. And Noah Fant feels okay here. I'm going to take Noah Fant for one of the picks. Would like to use correlation as a tiebreaker for something here, but there really is not a need for that at this point. Think Ray Davis could flesh out the backfield. Think Demarcus Robinson could be a fun wide receiver 7 here. Give me a little bit more floor potentially at the position. But I am going to go Ray Davis, because there are late receivers that I would like to take that I think fit this bet better. So I'm going to try to push that now. So we got to 5 RBs, even though we took the 2 early. Could make a case that I should be done at 4 when you take CMC and HN, but I did feel like these guys, partial enough roles, think we can get one more RB here and still hit our quota at the other positions. So Fields up to 171 in this room. We got Jaden Daniels and Trevor Lawrence here. Nice combo here. One, frankly, I get sniped on a lot. I feel like I take Jaden trying to get Lawrence back. Doesn't come back to me. Here today, I was able to pull it off. We have those 2 guys. CMC and Achane. Jerome Ford here, who does correlate with Achane for week 17. Rico Dowdle, Ray Davis, no correlation with anything that I see. Brandon Ayuk, hopefully will still be a Niner. That's my assumption. Christian Kirk here, part of that stack that we have going. Terry McLaurin, Xavier Worthy, pretty big value on him. DeAndre Hopkins, big value on him because of the knee price tag coming down. And Darnell Mooney is our bring back for Washington. And we have Evan Ingram as part of that Jacksonville stack. And uncorrelated Noah Fant, which he's just a good play, I think, for tight end too. I'm happy with these teams. Or this team, rather. I guess I'm happy with these teams as well. I'm happy with these other guys in the room being just mid enough. This all worked for me. It's kind of crazy that Ike wants to leave a Super Bowl contender. He wants to get paid. And they're not willing to pay him what he deserves to get paid. So never going to be mad at a guy trying to get his money. Everybody in the world deserves a chance to get their money. No matter what your industry is. Which I think has mostly changed. I know there's some people out there that hold the sentiment like, oh, the player's holding out. He's not a gamer. He doesn't care. I think more and more people get now that it's like, it's just nice to support the players because they're fighting the wage wars like any of us are. Like, unless you're a billionaire watching the stream, and I got to tell, if you're a billionaire watching the stream and you haven't tipped me tens of thousands of dollars, I don't know what you're doing. But if you're a billionaire watching the stream, this doesn't apply to you. For everybody else out there, you're theoretically the working class. Like a football player is a working class. Obviously, they're a working class making millions of dollars a year, but they have to fight for every penny, and their representation has to fight for every penny for them, the same way that you have to fight for every penny at your job or when you leap jobs to try to make your money come up. Same thing. So I would never begrudge him trying to get paid. Yeah, like, you want to win a championship. He's been to the Super Bowl. They didn't win it. What are you going to do? Get your money. Now, if he goes to the Patriots, that's like a real, I don't give a fuck about the quality of the team. I just want to make my money, but he wants to make his money. So make your money. You can care about winning a championship when you're Devontae Adams' age and you realize, oh shit, like, I'm not going to get back here again. You get a temperature check on Chubb, Hockenson, Dobbins. I mean, same one for Chubb and Hockenson. They should be going in the 140s. Dobbins looking good in camp. Obviously, still a risk that something can reoccur the moment he hits the field in a game. But he's fine. I think Dobbins at price feels good. I'd like to get more of him. I'm heavy on Gus right now, a little bit low on Dobbins. I think now that we know better about Dobbins here in this spot, around Algier, Chuba Hubbard, I think he's a better pick than Jalen Wright right now. So, yeah, I'm okay with it. Looked like Neighbors just fought 20 teammates. I don't okay. My draft getting Johnny Wilson. If I had Hurts and I wanted some second stack partner late, I could do it. But he's a good play. He's just like, I can't expect upside. He's just pure contingent value because you're going to have A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith being really good in this Kellen Moore offense. You're going to have Dallas Goedert being there still, Saquon getting paid enough to soak away 20 touches a game. That's enough for me to not think Johnny Wilson's that viable a pick, even though, 18th round Johnny Wilson, if you have Hurts, it's okay. He could score 2 touchdowns in week 17. It would just be like 2 touchdowns and 30 yards. Hockenson could be league winner with ADP. Yeah, if you have it balanced enough and you can account for the fact that he's pretty old coming off an ACL and probably have some depreciated production as a result. All right. I mean, Jonnu's not a bad pick here. I've got so much Senate. McCaffrey's going to be one of the picks. He hasn't had great camp steam, but he is locked into a starting slot job. So I'll make the bet on Jaden and just that he's going to make McCaffrey pop at some point. We'll go his way. And then think this is a spot for Sinnott, but it might be more unique to just scoop up Jonnu. We've already got a Washington double. Look, I still like Sinnott. I'm not out of the Sinnott game by any stretch, but I think Jonnu and this team, getting him in the mid 190s, him coming down to the depth chart, being behind Smythe is probably spooking people off a little bit. I'm not spooked by that at all. Durham Smythe doesn't catch anything. I can tell you, having drafted some Durham Smythe last year in some builds. So we'll go Jonnu Smith's way. Team right now is a 2.573. Could have taken Ben Sinnott. If I didn't have Evan Ingram, a luxury tight end for Ben Sinnott could be in play, but I don't think it's going to happen. Got Jaden Daniels, Trevor Lawrence here, Christian McCaffrey, Devon Achane, Jerome Ford, Rico Dowdle, and Ray Davis. One less RB would have given me more flexibility to add more volume at receiver. So that would have been a good thing, but not a must-have. I think Ray Davis, to me, is still a valid pick, especially going later. I don't know why he'd be going later given some of the good camp steam that he's had. Receiver, though, we have Brandon Ayuk, Christian Kirk, Terry McLaurin, Xavier Worthy, DeAndre Hopkins, Darnell Mooney, and Luke McCaffrey. So we've got Washington, Atlanta correlation, obviously. Tennessee, Jacksonville correlation as well. Nothing really in terms of minor game stack stuff besides the Jerome Ford, Devon Achane. So that's tough, but we're doing okay otherwise. And I think I have an idea for a unique 18th round receiver, unless Troy Franklin falls all the way back, and then I'll take him for free. But we'll see what we do down the home stretch. But guys, if you enjoyed this video, please do subscribe down below, hit the like button, leave a comment. Of course, I'm doing drafts here currently every day at 11 a.m., trying to show my work here, talk about the news, talk about the gambling, talk about the game theory, point out things that are good in drafts and things that are bad in drafts. So please hit that like button and subscribe here. Your support goes a long way for me, a solo proprietor who just gives away my EV on stream every day. And of course, you want to support your bankroll and yourself, go to Underdog and use promo code SPLASH. You click the link in the description as well. Get $250 in bonus cash back your way, so please do that. Justice Hill getting back getting drafted, 198, as he should be. Still going to lose an ungodly amount of work to Derrick Henry, but he's fine. Here's a brain buster. Kelsey's older than Zach Ertz. Huh. Doesn't surprise me. Would have thought they're the same age. That's fine. Am I ever grabbing Elijah Mitchell in a draft like this is a handcuff? No. First of all, I wouldn't take the handcuff. I would take two guys like Pollard and Spears or Warren and Najee in the same team. I wouldn't take a pure handcuff with the running back. It's just wasted capital. You want to make the bet on McCaffrey just being good and holding on to that job. And to me, handcuffs, I think, have a much lower hit rate than people realize. Having said that, having taken handcuffs for a few years in a row, I'm not doing it this year because I just don't think it pays off. Second part of that is that Mitchell's now competing with Mason for the job. So Mitchell's now not locked into that role. I bumped Mitchell down really low in my ranks. I think I've got him in the 200s. Yeah, I got him at 208. Mitchell should come down. Like, I wouldn't take either Mitchell or Mason right now. The role's ambiguous. They're adding in guys like Breida for that. I don't think that matters that much. I think that's just a depth piece. But it's not great signs for either of them. And you still have McCaffrey there who's going to get all the work as long as this team is in games that are competitive. So I don't see the upside for Mitchell now. Nor Damian, like pure handcuff plays, I just hate. Like Pierce, to me, pure handcuff play. Mitchell, pure handcuff play. Gibson going at 182. He's got a pass down roll. Like these are what you want. You want guys with like roles and offenses, not guys that get their role if somebody gets hurt. That's one of my big beliefs, and I learned the hard way. Football players fighting while wearing Guardians is quite comical. The funny thing about the Guardian is that there are other helmets that apparently test better for contact, and yet they're all still wearing the one that makes them look like the Flintstones' Great Gazoo. So it's like there are normal helmets you can wear now, or like I guess maybe slightly different than the old vintage one that we all wore in like high school or college. That we all wore, goes a bunch of football guys. But yeah, like I would say that I would wear any other helmet if I could, but if the Guardian's the safest one we have, you got to wear the one that's not going to lead to your brain bleeding out of your ears. That's what I would say. Where Kyron goes, that would not be the same kind of bet. Kyron goes way too high. Corum would be more like a handcuff bet in that kind of situation. I just said I feel okay about Najee and Jalen. That's not a handcuff. Those guys both have roles. It's like a 50-50 share backfield. For Kyron and Corum, it's probably the 80-20, 75-25. So you could take Corum in lineups where you don't take Kyron, but like with a bet you're making on Kyron in the top 3 rounds, he has to smash for you. He has to be basically RB1. I mean, out of everybody for him to pay off in a way you want. So you don't want to take Corum in that build. Like him having success runs directly counter to Corum being on the field at all, basically. Can't figure. I just said it's Mitchell and Mason competing. They've said that directly. Kyle Shanahan has said that within the last week. They are competing for the number 2 job, and then you have Garendo, and you have there's another guy there. There's somebody else, but Garendo's obviously hurt. They just added Breida, but it's really those two. You shouldn't worry about RB4 and 5. You should be worried. I think TDP might still be on their roster, right? You should be worried about the one who's like the direct backup. Drake May going undrafted. Oof. Bad for some people out there, I think. Washington here could take another share of Ray McCloud as a bring back for Atlanta. Jacksonville, Tennessee. Treylon Burks got drafted. I think this is another Ray team. I'm going to get more Ray because I just took so much more, and I really believe that there is value in just whoever is going to be wide receiver 3 for Atlanta. So they'll be our bring back for Washington here. Wide receiver 8, Ray McCloud. Don't think you're seeing a lot of Ray McCloud drafts out there, but that's what happens when you follow the news obsessively and you learn that your Rondale Moore bags might not be as good as they seemed. Oh, it is Cody Schrader, right? Okay, it is Cody Schrader. We got Jaden Daniels, Trevor Lawrence. I thought it was, but I was like, is he on the Chiefs? And threw me off for a second, but good call. We got Jaden Daniels, Trevor Lawrence at QB here. Christian McCaffrey, Devon Achane, Jerome Ford, Rico Dowdle, Ray Davis. We got Brandon Ayuk, Christian Kirk. We got Terry McLaurin, Xavier Worthy, DeAndre Hopkins, Darnell Mooney, Luke McCaffrey, Ray McCloud rounds out the wide receiver room. And at tight end, we have Evan Ingram, Noah Fant, and Jonnu Smith. So that is the room. And guys, here, I'll take some questions real fast, but I'm not going to do a second draft here today. I'm trying to parse them out a little bit. So if you're waiting to try to get my EV, come back tomorrow at 11 a.m. I do drafts here every Monday to Sunday now. So literally every day of the week, I'm doing a draft. On the weekends, doing drafters right now. Please subscribe down below. Hit the like button. Again, your support goes a long way for me. It's just me here doing streams, giving away my EV every day. And I could smell the sharks here going to Spags to do a second draft. And no, he's not, because I want to fucking protect my EV. in the last 60 drafts, but also I got shit to do. But please hit the like button and subscribe. I'll be doing another draft tomorrow. That is a promise. If you want to support the show, join the channel down below for $4.99. Get a VIP Discord, some other perks, including my rankings, and also 10 team reviews a month for me. Or go use Underdog's promo code SPLASH. Get $250 in bonus cash, the best deal you'll find in terms of bonus cash. If you haven't deposited on Underdog or you have deposited before, use our Drafters promo code. Another great way to support the show. You get $100 in deposit match on there. So that's a pure match, 100% match. And enter the Drafters Million, where it's $15 entry fee, $500K to first place. No pods, no playoff pods. Full point PPR. And of course, I give away entries every weekend as well. As many drafts as I do, I give away a ticket. So please come join on the weekends for Drafters and promo code SPLASH at drafters.com. Thank you to all the fine folks who've joined this channel. You too can join the channel down below. $4.99. You'll get my news updates, of course, every day here on stream for free, but you also get my news document as being part of the channel. Again, 10 team reviews a month for me. VIP Discord, where I'm in there chopping it up, talking about Troy Franklin and Ben Sinnott far too often, yelling at Adam about Lad McConkey, so do that. And if you want the data that I have on my screen here, I'll show it one more time. Use promo code SPLASH at bestballoverlay.com. Bestballoverlay.com. Get yourself week 16, 17 matchups, your exposures, so you can balance stuff out like I try to do here on stream. That is what I'm doing every day here, thanks to Best Ball Overlay. So check that out. And hey, follow me at Chris Spags, follow the show at Splash Play Pod, and be sure to gamble responsibly. I'll be back tomorrow with more, guys. So hey, enjoy your days. Let's hope Brandon Ayuk doesn't get traded and make me look like an idiot. And of course, good luck. Bye-bye.